And that's what's very interesting with this is that with like things like the Quest 2 is very much like they're bringing in social and fitness into it like slowly now that the gamers have really adopted the Quest 2 system. But you're right, like a lot of people did compare this release to the Quest Pro being like how the iPhone Pro is, but the difference is that iPhone Pro could still be targeted towards a consumer audience, where this almost makes no sense whatsoever for a consumer audience.
It's definitely a prosumer.
Fast Forward Podcast, episode 31. We're past the 30. So I'm very excited about today because we passed 30. It means we're going to go on to at least 60.
The sad part is we used to be less than 3.
Oh.
But now we are
Greater than.
Now we're greater
3.
than.
But that's like yeah.
It's not a heart anymore.
Yes, but you know what, Lee? There's a lot to talk about. Like we have a list of stuff that we're talking about here, but I feel like we're gonna get sidetracked a lot because there was a lot of stuff. It was a big week in tech.
I mean, Meta dropping their new mixed reality headset. That was awesome.
That was massive. There's also the Google Cloud Next, which is kind of cool. Not really. I mean, it's cool for like business people, but not really cool for anyone else. And then also the new Microsoft Surface. It looks better than the iPad Pro.
Hey, that's a good one.
No, like seriously, the new Microsoft Surface might be better than the iPad Pro because it actually runs. Okay, you know what? We're talking.
We'll save that one for later. First, Lewis, you've got a new daddy.
I told you not to go freaking weird. I told you not to get weird about this.
I did not understand the assignment.
Bro, there's a filter in your head. You bypassed it. That filter in your head was like, it does not know how to be used. All right. Let's talk about
Tell me
that.
what's happening. What happened to your mom? Who was she with? Who was
Don't
this
say
guy?
What happened to your mom?
Who was
bro.
your mom dancing with?
Dude, okay. Listen here. I'm going to tell the story and not give you these freaking satisfaction. So my mom and my dad, they're not divorced, okay? They moved.
They might be soon. I'm kidding. Sorry, Andrew.
They went to Europe, and my mom and dad were at this nightclub or something, and my dad sends me a video. Guess who me and your mom met last night? And it was Rick Astley, the Never Gonna Give You Up. Like, you got Rick rolled. Him. He was at this bar singing, and my mom in the video went up and was singing with him. It was pretty epic because I think that's like he's an internet god. Like, he's the god. He arguably is the inventor of clickbait.
Dude, the cultural implications of this, we should find a way to captivate on the clout. Most people say they meet a celebrity and they rarely, it's like they get a picture with them at the dining table or at a restaurant, or they run into them on the street. Your mom met one of the internet's greatest stars.
Yeah.
And sang his greatest hit with him, dancing together.
Yeah.
She didn't meet him.
Was he performing, like paid to be there? Or was
No.
he just hanging out and it was like a karaoke situation, put on his own song?
It looked like a karaoke situation in the video.
It did, yeah. But like, you just know, like, it's funny because...
How many people have that moment with him?
Yeah, no, I know. I wish I had more context because like Sid tells me this funny joke, and it is just so true that men, the way that we tell stories is that we only give the details that paints like a vivid enough picture in your head, and you don't ask any more questions, And that's what my dad exactly did. My dad was like, guess who we met last night? Takes the video, says, cool, eh? Doesn't say anything else. Why was Rick Astley there? What?
Cool.
So
eh?
he never specified that it was Rick Astley.
No, like I had to add because the video was really poor quality. So like I thought maybe like because the song was playing and I knew the song was playing, but it could be anyone behind it, right? Like Never Gonna Give You Up is not a random song. So,
but you understand the gravity of this situation,
yeah, it's
right?
massive.
Like how many people have been to the candy shop with 50 Cent?
Not many.
Or thrift shopped with Macklemore.
What?
Or maybe made sexual decisions they shouldn't have with Robin Thicke. Blurred line. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, that's cancelable material right there.
Maybe for him.
No, for him.
Yeah.
But there actually is lots of allegations going around him.
Who's been on their deathbed saying their last words with the Bee Gees? Staying alive.
Did you pull up a list of songs?
I I came up with all the connections on my own. Like that's what she did. She was Rick rolling the crowd.
Yeah. She rickrolled the crowd. With Rick.
That's an iconic moment, man.
Yeah, I'm getting weirded out by this conversation. Lee, let's start this damn episode.
All right, welcome to the podcast. I'm your co-host Lee.
And I'm your co-host Lewis. And welcome to the fastest growing Canadian tech podcast in the universe.
This week, we're going to be talking about mosquitoes and how they might solve malaria. We're also going to be talking about taxis that fly.
I'm really interested in hearing that. We're also going to be rounding up this week with all of this week's tech connections, but this one specifically, MetaConnect. We're also going to be talking about PayPal's new legal thing that they're going to do that will be taking effect next month. And I got a game again for you guys. This one is in relation to Google and how they're just so savage. They're murderers, and you guys are in on it.
Can't wait to play the game, Lewis.
We ready to start?
Yeah, what's the first story, Louis?
Speaking of murderers, Zuck's been killing the Metaverse.
Has he been killing it though, guys?
No.
No?
His employees don't think so.
So let's talk about the Metaverse for a minute, okay?
For a minute or maybe 40, because this is the fast forward podcast, and 20% of the time is talking about the Metaverse.
For sure.
What do you got for us?
Before we talk about the MetaConnect event that happened yesterday, as a note, everyone, if you follow our company account at Tomorrow Inc., which you should very much follow, by the way, they're a really cool company with 3 really cool people that are in that. We all watched the MetaConnect conference that happened live. But before we do that, we will talk about some news that came out before the event happened. Meta is struggling to even get their employees to use the Metaverse.
Is this fake news or is this for real?
No, it's definitely for real. It comes from The Verge. It comes from Alex Heath, which, Lee, I sent you an interview with him yesterday, and he's very critical. Like, he's a very good journalist, but you can tell he's a very critical person of the Metaverse in every single way.
He's not kissing any ass.
No, and, respect for him for doing that. But what he's discussing is he's saying how a lot of people are like the own company is having a hard time adopting this new Metaverse platform. So, there was a time where Zach, I think me and you watched an interview with Zach where he says he was like, dog feeding everyone the Horizon workrooms or to get them to use it.
Yeah.
But he is struggling everyone's struggling to use it because of bugs and stuff. Now, this is what happens beforehand, and I think it really just kind of segues nicely into the MetaConnect show, because when we talk about the Metaverse, VR, AR, whatever, we're very much in early development. But the big flagship product, something that's really causing a stir on the internet, the Quest Pro. Lee, you know all about this just as much as I do.
Well, I watched the conference with you at the office with all these other chaps, and it was cool to see the price tag came in around $1,500 USD, and it's not just virtual reality; it's also like augmented reality. It's a mixed reality headset, and I think that's really interesting. I think it opens a lot more opportunities for applications, for ways it could be used in the workplace, not just for entertainment. So I see it being very valuable. I think at that price point, it's really going to be targeted. It's not going to be cannibalizing their existing customers that are buying the old one.
Yep.
As much as it's going to be appealing to a new audience, which I think is good. Good pricing, good product placement. That being said, I'm still not 100% sure what exactly their strategy is, because with Microsoft coming in, they had the CEO and chairman of Microsoft in the call. It sounded like they were making a really deep productivity play in the workplace with the headsets. Yeah. And multiple times, Zuckerberg in interviews and also during the conference, he mentioned the 200,000 computers, I think, that are purchased every year for work.
Yeah.
And his vision that Meta will be able to fill that void, competing with like Dell and Acer and Asus to make workstation computers, but in a headset format. So, there was a lot of I guess it wasn't clear exactly what the vision is with this product, because we started off with games and entertainment. And
that's what's very interesting with this, is that with like things like the Quest 2 is very much like they're bringing in social and fitness into it, like slowly now that the gamers have really adopted the Quest 2 system. But you're right, like a lot of people did compare this release to the Quest Pro being like how the iPhone Pro is, but the difference is that iPhone Pro could still be targeted towards a consumer audience, where this almost makes no sense whatsoever for a consumer
Yeah,
audience.
it's definitely a prosumer
Yeah.
audience, like someone that really is into the tech and willing to pay that price tag to get
But even then, I'm still thinking it's way early for like
to put something like that anyway, because the people that buy it, there's not like a lot of use for it. It's like so early.
Yeah, and it also seems like instead of a computer replacement, it seems like more like a monitor replacement.
Yeah.
Because like, computers are power. Like think about rendering. Like it was talking about like how you can bring your 3D renders into real life and you can like view it.
But you're still using a computer to power that experience, right?
Not always. Like I think that what they want is they want that to be standalone.
Oh my gosh.
But obviously it's not going to be capable of doing that. Now for a lot of professional users, like, you know, disclaimer, I used the Quest 2 to do work for a week. And I thought it was pretty cool, but I needed my computer to power like this, like to stream the desktop to me.
Yeah.
And that's what you would need with this, which I'm sure most professional users will do. It just seems way too early. It's like
He was racing to get it out before
Apple.
And I guess this makes me think, and I don't know what you guys think, but
Oh, sorry. Before you get there, I'm interested in hearing that. But in the interview, I don't know if you ended up watching.
I watched the beginning, not the whole thing.
Alex Heath constantly brought up like Apple and like, oh, they might, and like Zuck just kept like doing like an awkward face, like to pretend like they might, but like he definitely knows. Like he has definitely done some corporate espionage.
That's what I'm thinking, because like when you look at the timing of the launch, it clearly isn't all the way ready. You know what I mean? They had things leak. It was kind of sloppy how they did the whole thing, and then I just still don't know who the market is. Like I think at this point, what I think would have been the smarter play is to bring back another Quest at the same price point with more features, but not like as crazy as the Pro, so you can get more horizontal adaptation. So like more people using on the platform.
Yeah.
To go 3 times more expensive and create this new category seems weird, but I think it's because they wanted mixed reality in the market first. Because right now it's a pure VR headset, and that makes me think, and again, we'll clip this in 5 months, 4 months. I think Apple's first headset is going to be this mixed reality play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, why else would they rush this? You know,
Yeah.
like, you know, they obviously want to be. I don't see the benefit.
No.
They're not going to be selling tons of units.
No.
right?
But do you know what is the biggest thing that just is like a damn for me?
What's that?
Do you know how long the battery life is on this thing?
No, I don't even remember looking at that.
2 hours.
Oof.
Max.
Oof. So you can't even use it for work.
That's why like
You'd only be doing like a couple hours in this.
like you
virtual
almost it's like you're doing a task on it, or it's almost like it's like you can do a Zoom meeting, like you have like a schedule like 1 to 2 hour Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
You do that on it because like it comes with the charger, which and it's like a dock, right? The charging station is a dock where you put the controllers and the headset on.
Yeah.
2 hours, dude. What the hell is going on with that? That to me just blows my freaking mind.
Yeah, that feels weird. When he first started talking and he mentioned computation and like all the computers people buy for work, I thought, and then when Microsoft came out, I was like dead set that Windows was going to be like compatible with the headset and that you could power all of your apps and you could literally plug it into USB 3 and then it was like like you said, like a monitor.
Yeah.
But he didn't go that route.
No.
So interesting. I don't know. I guess
I think that eventually though they'll start bringing all the Office 365 products over to the virtual, because like it's running on Android, so it's not like it's
very good.
no, like I don't think it needs like a lot of time to port over to different, because like I think they already have like an Office 365 version of like Word, Excel on their Android platforms. I just don't know if they need a lot to get it over to the VR.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
We'll see.
that's what happened with the Meta.
Are you going to get, is it a cop or a not cop?
The thing is, I am obsessed with AR and VR, mixed reality, whatever it is. I love the technology. I'm so obsessed with it. So to me, I want to get it because
Just because
I want
like
to
the
be an
experience.
early adopter. But
Yeah.
but like most people are not like me. So I would say it's definitely not a cop
At this stage.
But I do think what they did though, I think if I think about it through a clear lens, no pun intended, they did a smart move by releasing this early.
To be leaders
To,
and-
to be the leaders and to get people's feedback.
Feedback is what, yeah. And the whole piece about Meta's staff not using this, I think is just a testament to it being too early, and that their own staff should be more like a market. They shouldn't be forcing their staff to use it once a week. They should actually treat their employees like a market testing group.
Yeah.
How do we get our Meta employees to love using this without forcing them to do it?
Yeah.
And then you get unbiased result like a marketplace. If anything, you make them even buy it from you.
Yeah.
Right?
58% of Meta employees said they understood the company's metaverse strategy.
That's good. But wait, hold on. 58 seems like a good number, but that also means that 42 don't get it.
Which seems pretty high.
That seems
Yeah,
really
It's
high.
not a great buy-in.
Also, too, though, part of me wonders like how well, like how dispersed is this company, because like
There's so many people at Facebook.
yeah, and then also too, some of them are working on products like Facebook, and they're working on Instagram, and they're working on WhatsApp. Which,
And there's people that don't work on product. There's people that work in customer support and business marketing and app.
Yeah.
That. There's so many pieces across the board now. And the thing is too, not like in an ageist way, but when Facebook came up as a startup and they realized the business, they became an enterprise, they hired so many old heads, big wigs from other companies that came in to just like make it corporate. You know, you got HR, you got legal, you got business development, sales. So these are all people that don't understand product. I think if you did the same survey with engineers and designers, you get a different outcome.
Yeah.
It's probably like 70 or 80%.
who do you think? If I'm going to ask you two the same question, what does metaverse mean to you guys?
Like in the sense of what Meta is doing, or overall?
I mean, like
Period.
realistically overall, because there needs to be like some like universal understanding, at least, maybe different executions of it, but like it should have like one universal understanding.
But it doesn't. Everyone has different opinions on it. Some people like link it in with the blockchain stuff. For me, I mean, I can answer this pretty easily. Metaverse to me is untethered augmented experiences and fully immersive virtual experiences. It's just like an extension of the internet that gives me the ability to explore worlds in like an immersive state rather than looking at a two-dimensional screen. That's all I think it is.
That's what I think it would be too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's around where I would say. Yeah.
So
Makes
Meta
sense.
calling themselves Meta, like, is that just because they're not gonna own the metaverse? The way that we just described it is just. It's just like a different display.
Yeah, it's almost like they're having their own metaverse. You know what I mean? Like they're creating a virtual place where everyone can do. But I mean, their unique position is that they're probably going to create the industry leading headsets, unless
Apple comes in. And here's to close this off. One little thought is Apple, Tim Cook specifically, is trying not to say metaverse in interviews.
Yeah.
He's specifically avoiding the term, using it himself. And Apple is calling their this is the rumor, it's called Reality OS or Apple Reality. So AR is like the term that they might use, and not even augmented reality. AR is Apple Reality.
Yeah. You know what though?
They both like kind of jumping on existing words, like Meta taking metaverse and Apple taking AR, right?
It's smart. I mean, to be honest, metaverse has become a bit of a meme to the point where, and also I don't know how, like, because when you think of metaverse, it's very sci-fi. I don't know how like sci-fi is very nerdy. And I find that like when you kind of like isolate things into very nerdy things, it kind of stops people from it stops mass adoption of it.
Yeah. Versus like Reality OS.
Yeah.
Which you just like, everyone's like, oh yeah, I have the reality glasses.
Like when Steve Jobs made the computer say hello, right? And obviously it's so dated back in the day. Have you seen the movie? I think is it just called Jobs? Steve Jobs? I don't know. It's not Ashton Kutcher. It's not Ashton Kutcher. It has Seth Rogen in it.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. In that.
Can you imagine Seth Rogen playing Steve Jobs?
Oh, Seth Rogen plays Steve Jobs.
He plays
Wozniak. Yeah. But for anyone who hasn't seen the movie takes place in 3 separate periods, and all 3 of them are right before a huge Apple event. Really good movie, by the way. In the second part of it, Steve Jobs, it was like with the original Macintosh, and it was talking about like it must say hello. Like if it doesn't say hello, this whole thing is a bust, and it shows them like scrambling to get it to say hello at the last second.
Yeah.
It's a really good movie. But I just think like because of that, it almost made it friendly for a big audience. And when you keep saying like hello, or maybe you call it some like Dungeons and Dragons weird thing, whatever it might be, it just makes people think it's a weird gimmicky gamer thingy.
Right.
So
yeah, the last note that I have for this one is that Zuck didn't necessarily refute the fact that like he wasn't hiding the fact that Meta employees thought it was too early, and a lot of them want to work on something that has like immediate impact. So like working on that future focus like that might be part of the issue as well.
It is hard to do that.
Yeah. And he said in the opening keynote that he dedicated the event to the people who would rather be early rather than fashionably late. So like, I guess he's like kind of playing into the fact that like he knows that it's like too early almost.
Yeah. He actually talked about on maybe the interview that you sent me, Lewis, about how if he had waited till this year to announce it, it would have been horrible for the company, because right now with the recession, everyone wants companies to kind of like tighten their belts and not be doing a lot of innovation. And he announced it last year. So if he had changed their name and everything this year, it would have been like really weird timing. So I think he's happy that with his own timing and his choices. But I also, from a perspective of like as a business owner, I can empathize for the idea. He's got how many people, and he has 58% of them that get the vision. That's honestly kind of impressive, because you know, when you're thinking that into the future, most employees aren't going to get why, right? That's why they're working with you, right? So
also it's when you think of any business, right? Like even like the old school businesses, whatever, they'll always say like to diverse your audience, like to diversify, or if you don't own the platforms, like
it's risky. You need a moat.
It's super risky, and and for so long, Facebook, right, when it was Facebook, was just making money off of something that could have easily been pulled from underneath of them. Yeah. So I 100% get the vision. To me, I just think it's like it's just so risky, and
a risk they need to take, though. I think they need to take it. And you're not growing, you're sinking.
I respect Zuck for making such a huge leap. The amount of clowning that's happening to him right now, as hilarious as it is, like I'm not gonna lie, like that picture of him with the Paris and Spain is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life, maybe. But I still I fuck with the vision. You know?
And all the people that went to work for a social media company that now are working for a metaverse company. Think about how weird that is. Like you work at an agency, and then one day storm, I'm like, okay guys, we're gonna sell coffee now. Yeah. It's like that's how jarring of a difference. I mean, not really, maybe that extreme, but it's weird. I
would say so.
Like it's extreme. Like you went to work for like a Twitter or a YouTube or Facebook, and then you end up building a sci-fi world. You know what I mean?
Where you're like avatars have legs now, you know? Like what the hell? Like I just built some like crazy encryption software, and now like I designed legs for avatars. Like it just sounds so weird. So
it's extreme, but props to him. And I think the decision he's making right now will either be in like 10 years looked at as his greatest moment or his greatest failure. So I hope the best for him.
Were you saying, Lewis, that with Zuck, with Spain in the background, that you're never going to give that up, like that image? You're never going to like stop talking about it? Like
I can't. Like it literally was so funny and like so delusional.
Yeah.
I love it.
Never gonna give it up.
Oh, dude.
I looked over at him. I'm like, is he gonna get it? but then you just treated it like a normal thing.
His mom was in Spain. I don't know if we mentioned that when she saw Mr. Rick Roll.
Yeah. You're never gonna let me down, will you?
So, Zuckerberg's not the only one stressing out in Silicon Valley.
No, PayPal is also stressing out. Actually, everyone's stressing out about PayPal because PayPal...
What did they do? They pissed off a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I deal with PayPal all the time. I hate PayPal.
It's not good.
It sucks. Their customer support sucks. Do you know what they recently did that really pissed me off? They translated all my stuff to French, and now they send me emails in French. I did not at all change the language to it.
You live in Canada. You must be all right with French, right? No, I'm just joking. They just think you're in Canada. Just switch to French.
It just shows how buggy their software is. Yeah. Anyway.
Stripe is so much better.
Yeah, it's way better. PayPal wants to be the thought police. PayPal is starting to take away your money. Okay? PayPal explicitly stated that they would target anyone sending, posting, or publishing of any messages, content, or materials that promote misinformation. So how would they do this? The company would deduct $2,500 from your PayPal account if they deemed you were in violation. Now, this obviously, like, this made their shares go down by 6% after the update, which after that happened, they said that,
they backtracked.
Yeah, they backtracked. They said that they're not fining people for misinformation, and this language was never intended to be inserted into our policy. We're sorry for the confusion this has caused. But I just thought that was like,
they're obviously lying.
yeah, that's cap.
That's full cap.
That's cap to the third degree.
PayPal surprisingly has become more involved in a lot of these like woke kind of cancellations of people's, you know, thoughts and you know, freedom of speech or whatever. This is different. The reason this is kind of so jarring to me is that they're saying if they deem it a violation or being misinformation, they can take your money. Mm-hmm. The reason that's so fucked is because, like, if you think about during the pandemic, when a guy actually successfully sued Twitter because they banned him for misinformation. It turned out to all be factual. And in that situation, okay, Twitter didn't know what to do. There was a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
They made a decision, fine. But they didn't take his money. They just said, hey, we banned you from Twitter. He sued them. They put him back on. They accepted they were wrong about saying it was, you know, all these different conspiracy theories ended up being actually factual. And the wokesters that were dunking on him that motivated Twitter to make the decision in the first place all ended up being wrong. But no one lost any cash. I mean, maybe he lost some business because of his Twitter. I don't know. But like no actual funds leaving your account.
Yeah, literally.
That's crazy that PayPal thinks that they could do, like, that they have that type of authority. Like, that's fucked.
Mm-hmm. Well, part of me wonders if it's like their way of like trying to, like, to me, it's like what's weird is that you look at like the Alex Joneses and all these people who actually do spread misinformation, and they sell like, you know, alpha wave brain pills, whatever it is, to like fund their thing. Like, it almost sounds like that's their way of kind of enforcing that, but at the same time, why don't you just ban them?
Yeah, don't take a 20. Alex Jones, you're making millions of dollars with misinformation. We're gonna fine you $2,500 because we disagree.
Yeah, that's just like,
see you at your next invoice.
If you're making millions of dollars, that's you're already paying PayPal $2,500 from
fees.
The fees. Yeah, you know. So
like at that point, you just tell the guy, hey, we don't agree with what you're selling, or we need you to find another payment platform.
Yeah,
that's what PayPal did to porn. The whole industry, right?
Yeah.
And that's what PayPal, you know, has done to any at-risk industry like gambling, pornography, you know, marijuana, online e-commerce for CBD. They deem them at-risk industries. They make you find other third-party merchants.
Yeah.
But the idea of just being like, hey, that's like not facts. Give us $2,500. That's so weird.
Yeah.
And just doesn't. I feel like no one thought about that.
No, and it seems so unnecessary.
It's insanity.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? The market told them what they thought. The market said, hey, like, this is out of your realm. Like, you're not social media. You are a payment merchant, and stay in your lane. And it looks like they did. So I'm glad that the market spoke, and I'm glad that they responded the right way. Maybe this was a complete big mistake, but it sounds like they're just capping and they made the wrong choice.
And if you had $0 in your PayPal, and they have the ability, obviously, because you're probably able to debit into. I don't use.
Dude,
PayPal,
this literally happened to me. They debited my RBC account because there was no money in the PayPal account because I don't leave money in my PayPal account.
Yeah.
So they can do that.
Yeah, which is wild, right? Yeah. So like, imagine just like your bank, taking them right out of your bank account too. But I found a tweet from David Marcus, who used to be the president of PayPal, and he even went on Twitter and said, "It's hard for me to criticize a company that I love and gave so much to, but the new AUP goes against everything I believe in." So kind of like a well-respected former president
of the company.
Former president, yeah.
I mean,
even Elon Musk responded too, saying agreed, right? Like he responded to David Marcus, and it's funny because he was also part of PayPal.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I mean, you know what? The whole PayPal mafia, they're all pretty moderate to right wing. Mm-hmm. Like, they all care about freedom and liberty, and, you know, people's right to free speech. Like, there's not a whole lot of like left leaners from that PayPal mafia. So the fact that their company that they've all exited is going that way probably bothered all of them, you know. And
then PayPal also owns Venmo.
Venmo?
Yeah. So really? I wonder what the implications are there for people to.
Did you ever notice the branding?
I thought Venmo was Jack Dorsey. Or no, that's Cash App, isn't it?
Yeah, he has another one.
But so like that's a pretty big player in the space too. So
I just think PayPal. I mean, who knows? Who knows what PayPal really has to go through? But this was just such a massive overstep, right? Like the thing is that when you deal with commerce, you naturally involve yourself with politics in some sort of way or the other, right? Like there's no way around that, really, sadly. However, there is some ways you can deal with things and some ways you don't deal with things. And I think PayPal takes the massive L for that one.
PayPal's no longer our pal, man.
They never were my pal, to be honest.
Pay enemy, but like it's weird. PayPal went from being a friend to an enemy. But do we have any stories about enemies becoming friends?
Well,
no, I was gonna say like PayPal's just becoming blood-sucking vultures.
Speaking of enemies that used to be friends and friends that used to be enemies, or blood-sucking vultures, mosquitoes are now vaccine heroes.
Vaccine heroes.
There's a bit of cap here.
Okay.
Let me tell you guys. Imagine you're at a clinical trial and they say they want you to try this new vaccine. Okay. And you put your arm down and they unleash 200 mosquitoes on you and they just bite you like nuts.
Oh, I'd be
like, that's not what I signed up for.
That sounds like
a bad time.
Yeah, that sounds like
just the itchiness. Like imagine what that would look like. It's like a giant blotch of just, it's like an aggregate of like 50 to 100 mosquito bites.
You know, like mommy science, where it's like, drink your lemon water. That's what it seems like. Just like, I don't need the vaccine. I just need like
mosquitoes to bite. Oh, it's like a naturopathic thing.
Yeah.
Like, come here to our therapy room. There'll be like the chakra diagram on the wall. There'll be like incense burning, and then they'll lay you down on the bed, and then they'll like close the door and turn the lights off. And then like all swarm, and all you hear is, and then you just it's like mosquitoes biting you.
It's like Rainforest Cafe sounds in the background.
Yeah.
Just like
And then they turn the lights on. All the mosquitoes return back to their like chambers, and they're like, "All right, you're all done. Do you feel better?" And you're just like placeboed somehow into like, it's probably just the adrenaline from just getting bit 1,000 times. But you're like, yeah, this is how I'll fight COVID. But yeah, so let me explain the science, guys, because when I first heard this story, like, wait, mosquitoes delivering a vaccine, and also for malaria, which is like the thing that people get from mosquitoes.
That's like the biggest killer in the world,
so,
isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's one of the biggest ones.
Yeah.
In my mind, I go, oh, they got swarms of mosquitoes out in the wild delivering vaccine to poor kids in Africa, and delivering the vaccine to them through mosquito bites. Then I'm like, wait, that's so fucked. That's like, you can't just like give people a vaccine without their consent, Like you can't just have mosquitoes out delivering therapeutics. So that doesn't make sense. And I read the article, and apparently all this is actually about is this company that's created this malaria vaccine, and they want the parasite to be mature. Well, mosquitoes are great at hosting malaria. Yeah. So they're just letting the mosquito hold the virus. And it's because it's more expensive. It takes more time to get a vaccine needle to work. So they're just using this as like a proof of concept strategy. And apparently it's happened before. Interestingly though.
So they're using it to like mosquitoes are holding like malaria that's not as like the vaccine basically.
So exactly. So normally getting a vaccine to like work with like a needle and delivering it that way, I guess takes a lot more work to keep the parasite like alive and whole and matured.
Gotcha.
But in a mosquito, that's like a natural place for it to host. So I guess this was like a cheaper alternative. That being said, there's an existing vaccine. It's called the RTS vaccine. And it basically uses a whole parasite, but it's been weakened. And it targets just one out of more than 5,000 proteins. So basically, it's not that effective. It's not an effective vaccine, which is why they're trying new strategies. The vaccine that we're talking about it uses the whole entire parasite, but it's been genetically modified with CRISPR to make it not harmful.
Okay.
So you're basically getting these mosquitoes that are just delivering small doses of real malaria in its complete form.
Yeah.
But just like doesn't have
enough
the ability
for your body to like develop
immunity, but it can't harm you, and it can't harm you because it's been spliced with CRISPR, which is like obviously a technology I'm really fascinated with.
Yeah.
But apparently they didn't get good results. So like they tested it and it was 50% efficacy. And mainly because they couldn't measure the dosage. Because like when you're getting a vaccine via 200 mosquito bites, it's like hard to measure like how much of the vaccine you got.
For sure. Yeah.
So now they're going to go to the next stage. They proved it worked somewhat, and now they're going to bring it to the, actually getting it into a needle and, being.
I'm still pretty impressed that 50% was able to be effective, because like
those are not bad numbers.
Well, think about malaria, right? Like, I mean, of course, you brought up a funny point about like, people not being able to choose if they want to get vaccinated if it's in mosquitoes. But if you look at poor countries like Africa, people are dying rapidly from malaria. Like the quality of life there is so down. So to be able to put that in there and make it less harmful, but also like keep the ecosystem as well with mosquitoes, it's
I kind of like that idea. Like, I know that it probably breaks some human rights violations, but just imagine we were just getting bit by mosquitoes and they were giving us like our daily dosage of vitamin D and like giving you fish oils. Like, you just like, I don't need to take care of myself because my country just like deploys bugs. And
is it really a human rights violation?
I feel like it is, because I feel like you just like it's like a medical.
It's like
you're not consenting to it. Like, normally when you do a vaccine clinic in Saharan Africa, like they are lining up at a tent to get it from you. Like, they want it. Where like, if I just create some experimental vaccine and then I just like deploy it, and then find out later it's like really bad. Like, they didn't even consent to doing it with the risks.
Well, for sure, yeah. But but you also got to think too of like, are they even educated about the risks of not getting one, right?
Yeah, I think the best way to put it,
like here, it's like, okay, sure, like if we look at the COVID, right? I mean, obviously we can get as there's a lot of political talk about it, but genuinely speaking, we can assume that most people here can get educated on what should or should not go into their bodies, right? While over there,
they don't know.
They don't. So it's like they just die for almost no reason.
So you make a choice for the greater good. I think it would be cool if mosquitoes, like, if we could find a way to like hack them so that they start giving each other the vaccine, and then they like, every time that the virus comes in, they like mutate the virus into like this safe thing. Like, that would be the perfect outcome where like,
instead of being in their sucker straws, it's in their penis. So like the future generations, they don't carry malaria.
They don't carry. They're fucking other mosquitoes and they're all immune.
Or just like put Monster Energy in the mosquitoes and it just freaking goes over and gives you some sick ass juice.
Gets you excited. Gets you caffeine.
Gets you caffeine and get going through your day.
I mean, whatever strategy they do, as long as they can help kids with malaria, I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of cool that they spliced it using CRISPR as well.
Yeah.
So, who knows where this will take us.
Yeah. Well, we don't want to be killed by malaria, but do you know who might kill you?
Google.
They're
killing everything.
Yeah, they're killing everything. Okay. So we talked a lot about Google, and something they are notorious for is for releasing a product and then soon axing it later. So guys, I have a game for you. Don't click on the game because I have my answers there. But I'm going to tell you a Google product. I'll give you the background of it.
Okay.
And you guys got to tell me why it died, and I'll give you the right answer. Okay.
So you've got like exact answers as to why it died? Does Google always provide?
I do. They do, yeah, usually. Okay. If they're cap, maybe, or not, but I'll let you guys know, okay?
Sweet.
So the first in my list, there's over 275 different products.
That's so many.
Yeah.
I wouldn't trust buying a Google product.
No, it's because you just worry. I mean, at least they refund you. Anyway,
yeah.
We'll start off with the latest and greatest of deaths. Google Stadia. So for anyone who doesn't know, you guys know what Google Stadia is, right?
Yeah.
Google Stadia was like a little console you bought that would cloud stream the games onto your TV. So it was kind of like, I mean, cloud gaming is not new, but it was kind of one of the first players in the space to kind of really come mainstream. So
I feel like you guys like you and Jason got something like that. Like,
I never got a Stadia, no.
Jason did though, right? We had one here. I remember it was a couple years ago.
No, I don't think we had a Stadia ever. Are you shitting me?
I'm not shitting you. Jason got one and it was like lame.
Well, yeah. So, what do you guys think?
Why did it die?
I
think that they spent too much money and weren't able to deliver on the result. Like, people wanted low latency gaming. That's what they were appealing to, like shooters, multiplayer games, and multiplayer games are so hard to do with. I think the infrastructure is not. You know how Netflix works, right?
Yeah.
Netflix has local servers like near us.
Yeah.
Like in Sarnia, that have the movies that we watch on the server, so we don't have to like get it from super far away.
Well, also it's because it's like, I mean, Google also had that coverage, right? But I mean, you got to think input and output. Like, well, sorry, I can explain this after. But Storm, what do you think?
I didn't know that about Netflix.
Oh,
That's how they solved the latency lagging issue before everybody else. That's why it was faster, even though it was like the same video you would watch on another platform. It was like loading quicker. That's how Netflix like got around that technological issue.
I don't know enough about the space to take a educated guess, really, but I don't know. Like, I feel like the first thing that comes to mind is that a lot of people have their allegiance to existing video game systems too, like Xbox or PlayStation or PC, and it just seemed like a new competitor that didn't have enough coolness around it for people to adopt, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are both basically right. It's so on September 29th, 2022, Google announced that it would shut down Stadia, citing its lack of traction with users. So I think part of it was you're right, Lee, the traction, like when it comes to, even though Google Cloud and like Amazon Web Services and all these different services have like servers all around us, even some that are in Canada. With Netflix, it's easy to stream a movie because as soon as you hit play, it's only outputting to you. But on video games, it's the input and output.
Yep.
And in gaming, it's really about precision. So it made it pretty hard. And plus, you're right, Storm. Like, a lot of people are just very loyal to the gaming systems. And Google Stadia, even though they had some exclusive game companies that would produce games with them, it was no like Naughty Dog or like Insomniac or something.
And you never heard any kid go, "Mom and Dad, I want a Stadia for Christmas." You never heard anybody go,
little lame.
"You want to go play some Stadia tonight?" Like, it just didn't get the traction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So,
and honestly, gaming is a tough battleground. Nintendo, Sony, Xbox. For Google to just like half-ass, Meta, to half-ass go in there and not really do a great job with Stadia. I think Google's better off buying a cloud gaming startup that's going to start up in like, maybe already now, but like that will get traction in like 3-5 years.
Yeah.
Because eventually you will be able to do cloud gaming and it will be really good latency. Yeah. But we need like significantly faster internet.
Brand recognition as well is like just so important in the gaming that it almost just also makes sense to, like, if you're Google Cloud, like, just get with Sony and be like, hey, like, can we partner up for like
do some cloud gaming?
Yeah. Because like right now Microsoft has Azure, so they already have like an insane platform for that. So
true.
Or Nintendo, whatever makes sense, right? All right, guys. I don't know if you guys have heard this one. This one really hurt me deep down. Google Inbox. It was basically, it took your Gmail account and then it just basically prioritized it to make you more efficient. So it would automatically group all your emails. It would automatically put stuff in the trash. It would like prioritize your emails by like what you should reply ASAP, what you should, based off of your habits. And it just added a lot of new features. So what do you guys think?
I know
it failed.
I think this is a strong guess, is that Google Gmail just got so good it didn't make sense to have an inbox, because Gmail has so many smart features, and I feel like people just use Gmail.
Yeah.
So why support to you?
Yeah, I didn't use it at the time, so I'm not sure if some of the features were adopted into Gmail now. But there's even that, like, you didn't respond to this email in the last 5 days, like that pops up on Gmail now. I'm guessing they just stole some features there, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was essentially that. So Google called Inbox a great place to experiment with new ideas and noted that many of those ideas had now migrated to Gmail. The company said that going forward, it wanted to focus its resources on a single email system. So yeah, you guys were 100% right. Like, there was a lot of cool features. Like, for example, when you send on Gmail, you know how you can undo. Yeah. Because what it does is when you send it, it's just putting it on a timer essentially.
Yep.
That's exactly what it does here. That was started on Google Inbox. Would you like to reply in 3 days? Like, the automatic follow-up reminder.
Yeah.
Came in Google Inbox. So it didn't make sense to have it in two different areas. Realistically, Google should have just had like an experimental mode on their Gmail devices.
Beta testing stuff.
Yeah, but instead they chose to do it on a separate product altogether. So I do miss it. But I mean, I find Gmail to be a lot better. All right, Lee, you're going to realize this one. And you won't even, as soon as I saw this, I completely forgot that this was a thing, okay? Google Daydream.
Was that the old VR headset?
It was Google Daydream was like a VR headset that you put your Android phone into, and what it would do is it would like
It's like Google Cardboard,
it
but
was like,
nice.
It was like Google Cardboard, except it did a little bit more. It had its own like interface. It allowed you to control with a remote. So you almost had like this mini like Quest like setup, very budget Quest like setup, where you could control your whole phone with a VR headset. So I think this died in 2019, I believe. So why did this happen, guys?
This one's tricky because it's weird that now Google was like, so Google had Google Glasses with AR like so early. And then they had Google Cardboard, which is one of the biggest VR platforms around the world.
Yeah.
And then they obviously had the Daydream, which was like a much more higher end, comfortable platform. It was obviously powered by your phone.
Yeah.
I'm a bit confused and perplexed because now everyone's doing it and it feels like they don't have a whole lot to say. Mm-hmm. My assumption would be that traction was not that high because I never saw people with Daydreams.
No. And
I think maybe they realized the timing was too early.
And you would know more than anyone about this.
Oh yeah, I sold a lot of these freaking headsets. So my answer would be that Google decided to put this to rest and incubate a new, deeper level of VR inside of Google, and this is keeping this alive, which is not sustainable.
Storm?
Yeah. The too early thing was my first thought with it. But also, it came with like a remote, did it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which kind of just, I don't know, it kind of feels like an added thing like that. I don't know, feels clunky. Just remotes in general now, I guess, right? But
for sure, yeah. I mean, to be honest, when I used the Daydream, it made sense because the thing with Google Cardboard is that to like interact with buttons, you would have to like look at a button for like 2 seconds.
You have to go like this and point your head at the thing you're doing, and then it holds and then it clicks. So it can be kind of cumbersome.
And so like the button, because like it was something that was like motion sensor, so you could like point it, but it still was a bit kind of crappy. So this is a quote: "There hasn't been the broad consumer or developer adoption we had hoped, and we've seen decreasing usage over time of the Daydream View headset." So
decreasing usage. I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel like when it first came out, it was exciting and cool, but it didn't the momentum didn't increase things. It actually got lower.
It just was kind of gimmicky, to be honest. Like it was, it just wasn't
too
that
early.
hype. It was way too early.
If it came out and it had all the hype, and then the next year there was even more games and more features and more peripherals, and like maybe there's like the gloves or other things you can use, and they kept building on the platform, then it would follow up on the hype. But what happened was they dropped this thing, and it was really cool at the beginning, and then it literally only trickled down from there.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty good indicator that it was never really the right time to begin with. It was just like cool for early adopters, and then they forgot about it.
And that's the three I have right there, guys. But I just wanted to say one thing is that what it is, when I looked through all of these killed by Google products, a lot of them it almost seems like a lot of these features that they have added in eventually made their way into their core products. So it's almost like they take a risk of creating an application, and then whatever is not used is then put onto their old app or into their applications that they use often. So
they killed so many things. Like, how many did you say there were? 275.
Yeah. Now there's definitely it's definitely a different philosophy, because you couldn't, 275 is a lot of products versus like Apple, which definitely wouldn't have made the same amount. But it might just be part of their philosophy to kill off if it doesn't work, and then if it does work, hopefully it becomes a huge success. So yeah, that was my little game for today, guys.
What is your take on just Google as a business period doing this often?
I think it's there's pros and cons to it. So first, the pro is being that you can rapidly kind of get actual product feedback on something without it being damaged or feel like it's going to do a lot of things. The con is that if I was a company and I wanted to invest in something, or not invest, but if I wanted to have my users use something, I now have this understanding that Google might just completely kill this. It kind of damages the reputation a bit.
Yeah, I think what we're seeing is a really cool business model, and mostly because Google literally is such a monopoly. they just print so much money that they've become like a research institution inside their own company, but it's different than other research institutions. So normally when you work in research, you build like, for example, like MindMed. So MindMed's like a pharmaceutical shroom company. They are known to be research, which is even more risky than pharma, because pharma buys research and distributes it once it's FDA approved. Right. So when you invest in a research company, it's very, very high risk, very, very high return if it works out. But it's super risky. And then the research companies, work with the commercializers, and then the commercializers get it to distributors, and it gets to end users. Google's cool because Google can literally just build a team or acquire a team and just say, we'll fund this at the research stage, even if it never has viability, and they can see it through. A lot of companies can't actually get to the commercialization because they don't have it doesn't make sense in capitalism to get there without the investment of research. So the thing that's cool about this, and there's a lot of negatives too, but the positive is that a lot of ideas that would normally not see the light of day in a normal commercial, like a normal capital market, work because Google can literally afford to fail. And has afforded to fail 275 times. And
arguably more, right? And like, think about, this is just stuff that has come out to the public, and and that's just why I think is so cool, is that because you're 100% right. I mean, at the end of the day, whether they acquire a company and then kill it, or they create something in-house and then kill it later, you see a lot of these features somehow come back into their company somehow. So like with Gmail, or like YouTube, or whatever it might be. So it kind of works out at the end of the day. It just does sometimes
come at a price.
A
price that only they can afford. So, I mean,
but it also gives my hype for products by them a little down, especially after the Stadia thing, because like Stadia was a huge thing. Like Google Inbox was like, it kind of was like known as a beta little product.
But Stadia was supposed to be big.
And
then it completely went to, and when I sent you guys an article when it happened, and I remember saying like biggest L ever.
Oh,
because they went, so Storm, I don't know if you're familiar with this. When they canceled Stadia, they refunded anyone that bought any Stadia console. So if you bought one of these gaming consoles, you just got a refund, and they sold tons. And you just got all your money back. I think they did. They refund
everything, games and everything.
So you just got to play for free for a little while, and they give you your money back.
So that is a good reputation then to buy things, right?
That because like Google. I mean, here's the thing: Stadia is so big. If they just canned it, it would have killed their product adaptation in the future. They had to refund everybody to get the trust, and hopefully, cloud gaming eventually can take flight. But speaking of things that are taking flight, there are taxis that are flying taxis.
There's flying taxis
coming soon. This company, Whisk Aerospace, which is actually backed by Boeing, is apparently the first candidate for FAA's type certification, one of 3 things that they have to do to eventually commercialize and release this service to the public. What they're trying to realize is this like Uber Lyft type service, but for basically what is an electric helicopter drone type thing. It's different. It doesn't have the big propeller that like normal helicopters have.
I'm looking at a picture right now.
Instead, it has like a dozen small propellers on 2 wings, and
kind of looks like a plane drone combined.
It's like a plane drone helicopter. It's completely vertical takeoff and vertical landing, so it's not like a normal plane. It is completely different aerodynamics, but they're trying to create this service, where you can just, order a drone with your phone, and here's the crazy part: this thing drives without a pilot.
Wait, so it's completely
autonomous? Yeah. So just imagine you like hail one of these things, you get onto a roof of a building in your area, because that's what they're going to do. They're going to put these on rooftops, and then you jump into one of these things with your friends, and then it takes you an hour away, a typical hour away drive by car in like 15 minutes, but there's nobody piloting the thing.
Dude, that's like, I mean, that is so awesome, but also like super sussy.
Dude, here's my issue. How many people would be uncomfortable with the car self-driving? Imagine jumping into an autonomous cab. Like that would be kind of scary, right?
Oh yeah.
What do you think it feels like when you're 2,000 miles in the air? You know what I mean? I think it actually indicates somewhere on here just how high up it goes.
But you know what's also funny too? Because whenever you hear pilots talk about how to like do an airplane, they always talk about how it's the plane is doing most of the work for you, right?
Oh yeah, it's mostly autopilot these days.
And it's like funny too, because like there's not as many planes in the sky as there are cars. Like when I'm on the road, I'd be scared of other cars driving into me or that car driving. On a plane though, like,
There's like no traffic.
there's no traffic up in the air.
And honestly, I think that today the modern pilot is there to ease the concerns of boomers and shit. Like I think the aerospace industry has been ready to like have autopilot. You know,
what if there already is autopilot? They're not telling us, and pilots they basically walk into a party room.
That's what they do.
They just go in. They're like, all right,
hey ladies, you got some
let's
whiskey?
take some shots. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's literally what they do right now. They just kind of hang out, and then like they just do, all right, welcome everybody to the Road and welcome to the Northwest Airline.
Why is that always their voice too?
I don't know. You know what's crazy too is like they make the whole experience so nice. They give you like wet towels for your face, and then the audio is just like, yo, can someone update these speakers? Like get them like some like
let's be
some
real
Bose.
Here, man. Me and you have been riding Frontier.
Yeah. But even like the nice play airlines, the same thing.
They basically spit in your face on that. It's like, you want a drink? It's like, all right, it's $15. You pay for the drink. They spit on it. They spit on you. They slap you.
So I mean, yeah, 100%. But at least you'd think they would improve their audio quality. Yeah. Besides that, it's a correction, not 2,000 miles in the air. Sorry, 2,000 feet, 2,500 to 4,000 feet above the ground. So just imagine you're that high up and no one is at the wheel. And you know what they actually say? There's actually someone that's able to support as a virtual pilot. So like, there's somebody monitoring from like a. Can you imagine? Hello, this is Patel. I'm your customer service representative.
It accidentally goes to like Microsoft support by accident.
But yeah, that's crazy to me that it'd be autonomous. I do think though, for the experience, the idea of this is obviously for the upper class. So you jump into this like helicopter and there's no pilot and it's quiet and it's futuristic. They've got wireless chargers, USB, Wi-Fi, lots of leg room compared to normal helicopters.
Massage chairs.
Do you have to be on airplane mode up there?
I don't know. I assume so. I mean, I would just because I'm stressed. I'm like, listen, this can't crash. Like when I'm on a plane, do you guys actually go on airplane mode? Because I don't.
No, it's cap.
Yeah, I don't go on airplane mode. And here's why. If something goes to shit, I know the pilot's going to figure it out.
What does airplane mode actually do?
I think it's from back in the olden days. I think there was more of a risk back then. I don't think listen.
Like to me, it just seems like Apple was like, these motherfuckers will not stop bitching about an airplane mode, so we'll just give it with a cool little animation to make them feel good, and then that's it.
I just think the planes are like safe now. I don't think one grandma that doesn't know how to turn her phone on airplane mode to like crash the whole thing. Like that's just so far fetched. I look around, I'm like, I'm on a plane with 200 Americans. Yeah. There's no chance that one of them's following, not like they're all following the rules, So,
like those people who like wear tinfoil hats or like they like to go out in the sun, they have to wear complete tinfoil.
What?
Like from the movie The Benchwarmers?
Yeah, like the people who like are scared of the radio waves. So what they do is they put it on to not be like succumb to some sort of.
Wait, is that actually where tinfoil hats came from for like conspiracy theorists?
Yeah, it's like to avoid. That's what it is. It's like that kind of vibe, like airplane.
You should know. I get notifications of people liking you in your tinfoil cap every single day.
Yeah. But yeah, would you guys ever fly in a flying taxi? Or is that too sus? There's no pilot. You're 2,500 feet in the air.
Oh yeah, it's like basically like you're dead
if it falls. You're dead. Yeah. Is that too scary for you?
It is a bit scary for me.
Is there an override option where like I can fly if things go wrong?
There's no wheel.
Right.
The virtual pilot is accessing the computer,
bro.
So there's no need to have any controls at all. There's no buttons for you to press. It feels like you're in a flying box.
Do you know what I would want beforehand? I want to do a facial scan to see what data it has on me first. Because like if it decides that I'm like, doing something bad, and if I said something wrong about the AI, it's gonna freaking crash me. It's gonna suicide bomb.
Lewis, download all your you copy all your passwords to my device now, or I will kill you.
Charging your PayPal account
$2,500.
Yeah, PayPal's like $2,500 is not enough. You get on a death freaking plane.
Here's some advice to Whisk before we jump into the rewind. If you're going to commercialize this thing, put a fake wheel with a bunch of fake buttons and a fake shift Okay. And it doesn't have to work, but I guarantee people will feel much more at ease.
Yeah.
If they can just see like control. Humans need control. We need to be able to like know that if shit hits the fan, that we have a way to save ourselves, even though we have no training on flying a plane.
It's going down and someone thinks that they saved the whole thing because they were at the wheel, but it was some guy at a computer.
So it doesn't say anything. He's like, oh shit, this is starting to like descend. Like I can fix this right here. Rather than turning on his mic and being like, hey guys, there's an issue, I'm resolving it. He just keeps quiet and lets like the dad like go full hero mode, be like, I'm saving this thing. You know what I mean?
He's still bringing up at barbecues.
Yeah,
Tom freaking Hanks.
That's some Top Gun shit for sure, man.
Yeah. Oh, Tom Hanks that was Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise. No. I was just on top of what you were saying. I wasn't making a connection.
Yeah. Tom Hanks shit. That's hilarious. Yeah. Freaking Woody from Toy Story. All right.
The rewind.
The rewind featuring Lewis and Lee.
What do you got for us, Lewis?
Sorry. Yeah, I don't know why I do that.
You're good.
So, on October 17th, 1990, IMDb launched. So, I mean, that's pretty impressive. 1990, okay?
5 years before I was born.
Yeah, actually, that's actually crazy to think. That's older than us.
Yeah.
IMDb. So Colin Needham, an English movie fan, launches the Rec Arts Movies movie database, which would later be known as the Internet Movie Database, or IMDb for short, and was known as. An engineer working for HP at the time, by 1996, Needham quit his job to work on IMDb full time. So he literally, 6 years after he created it, he went to work full time on it, which is pretty impressive. The IMDb is one of the most visited sites on the internet and was acquired by Amazon in 1998. So this is a really early acquisition by Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon bought that 4 years after they built it.
Yeah, or 8 years after. Yeah. But I mean, like, it arguably is like, I just think when you think about data today, data really is about, like, the more data you have, the more powerful you are. And especially like a crowdsourced database like IMDb, it really is impressive the amount of detail that goes into IMDb. So
Amazon paid $55 million for it.
And I think they also own Goodreads as well, which is also very similar.
Similar,
right?
Yeah.
But huge database. And so I think it's just so impressive. Here's something that's also impressive is that Needham is still the general manager of the IMDb to this day.
So that's kind of funny.
Man's never left it.
Well, the title general manager, why does it sound like the person that's in charge at Best Buy? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like they have a VP of IMDb, a CEO, a director, a whole C-suite of executives, CFO, CMO, and then they have like, well, guys, like, what are we gonna do for Needham? He's getting kind of old. Like he needs an important title. And then like the C-suite executives are at the table. They're like, how about general manager?
Yeah. Or like, I could just imagine like I'm like trying to submit some like change to a movie, and it's like, let me first speak to my general manager, Colin, and then like Colin like pops up on the screen. It's like, hi, are you looking to do this? And then, I'm
obviously disrespecting this guy because he's an engineer and he obviously built this thing. But like for some reason, I just see him putzing around. Like he made $55 million. He probably sucks at coding now, and he's like putzing around the office and just like, what do you do at work? Oh, I'm the general manager. Like, what's like the job description? Oh, like just generally managing things. Like he's just putzing around the office, like checking, like looking over like engineer's shoulders, like, how's it going? Good. Yeah, just been making some updates to the site. Nice. Walks over, plays a little mini putt in his office, like fixes the pitch. He's like Michael Scott. That's how I envision this guy, which is so disrespectful because this guy founded the company, but like they did him dirty with the general manager title.
For sure.
You're at a software company,
It's funny to think because like literally arguably one of the most important databases that exist on the internet, you have a Michael Scott type of thing running it, like saying like, I don't think that this should go in here for whatever reason. And it's funny. He's 55 years old. So born in 1967. So honestly, it just is very impressive. I'm trying to see if I can like see his day-to-day thing. Cause in February 2017, Needham decided to remove the message boards from IMDb, stating that the message boards are no longer providing a positive, useful experience for the vast majority of our more than 250 million monthly.
Okay.
Do you know what's hilarious? That sounds like a Michael Scott thing to do.
Yo, and Google him. Look at his face.
Oh,
No disrespect, dude. No disrespect, but you look like you putz around now. Like
he looks like what?
he putts around. Like
What
he
is putts? Oh, like
he's just got this look to him. It's like comedic, you know. I can't take him seriously.
oh, he's yeah.
Look
yeah, I mean, I'm like that's all. Colin, if you're watching this from our shorts, if it somehow got out there, that was him that said that, not me.
We love IMDb.
I love IMDb.
It's a great product. You honestly,
Yeah.
dude, you deserve all the respect, but they just did you dirty. They should have called you like database scientist or something.
Yeah.
Calling you general manager is just silly.
Yeah.
Guys, look at this picture of him.
Yeah, I saw it.
No, I sent another one.
Oh, God damn it.
That's him at his IMDb awards ceremony. When they awarded him as general manager, they just handed him the hat and
He wears that hat every day to work.
yo, why are we talking about Colin like he's
Bro, why are you talking about him like that? You motherfucker.
he's the founder?
This guy founded the most important database of all time, and you called him putzing around.
Because I can't take the title of general manager seriously.
Yeah,
I think
they
the
did
most,
him dirty
It's
with
like the
general
most
manager.
important position in hockey
general manager
of a team. It's
Yeah,
the
but
guy
that's
that makes all the
in other industries it
sports.
makes sense, but like
Not
in
this
Silicon
one.
Valley,
Yeah.
you know what? I recently heard a story about the term data scientist.
Yeah.
About how this is on a podcast. Apparently, Chamath that used to work at Facebook, he claims that he created the name because they tried to hire somebody to be a data scientist, and he had a PhD, and they called him like a data analyst or something.
Yeah.
And then he just like, yo, like what? Like that's a stupid job title. I don't want the job. The salary was the same. The description was the same. It's just the title.
Yeah.
So then they ended up coming up with, okay, how about data scientist? Because you're like a PhD in data. You're like, give them now in Silicon Valley, that's like the standard title, right?
Yeah, it's huge.
So titles matter in Silicon Valley.
Oh, I mean, arguably it matters everywhere to some degree, right? Like, I know it is stupid, but a general manager.
He should be VP IMDb databases or something like that. But they called him general manager. Anyway, put this to rest. I think the guy's a nice chap. Probably
nice chap. dude founded IMDb. You just called him a nice chap.
Seems like a dandy fella.
You know why you said a nice chap? Because of that picture. If you never saw a picture of him there, you would have not said a nice chap.
I know. Everything's working against him with me.
Yep.
Next time that I go for contract negotiation at Tomorrow Inc., I'm demanding my position be changed to general manager here. That's going to be in the demands.
I mean, you know what? You kind of are a general manager. Like
Yeah.
the other day we had
Is that a bad thing after you just ripped on someone for...
I'm just saying if you're a
You
founder,
kind of just putz around your storm.
You're thinking he's special.
Oh,
You're
man.
special. You seem like a good fellow.
There's no-
You seem like a good old chap.
All right.
Oh my God.
We were talking about Michael Scott. Michael Scott likes to snip, snap, snip, snap. Here we go. Snips. Netflix is releasing an original comedy show about Blockbuster. As one comment eloquently put it, Netflix really be twisting that knife.
I really don't have much to say about this, but yeah, no kidding. Like that's a flex that you can make a documentary about your worst enemy.
This is the ultimate flex. I remember watching the very first video behind the scenes of Netflix when they were first founded,
Yeah.
and they had a bunch of workers mailing DVDs to people, and they had like a really optimized system for mailing. And the CEO was kind of like a dorky guy, and he was really like, "Yo, this is gonna be the next big thing." But I bet you so many people thought, "Yo, you're never gonna beat Blockbuster, dude. Like you're
They
nobody."
tried to sell to Blockbuster multiple times.
Yeah, did he?
Yeah.
Netflix said,
and then they didn't buy it.
Yeah.
Now they're like literally huge,
Yeah.
like to the like massive.
It's like arguably one of the biggest companies in Silicon Valley.
Yeah,
right?
literally. And then they make this awesome, is it a comedy?
Yep.
Ripping on them. I
Yeah.
think that's hilarious. And they funded it, right? This is Netflix original?
Yeah.
Yo, epic.
So
Too funny.
awesome.
Yeah. Number 2, an Uber passenger was charged a roughly $39,000 for a 15-minute ride to Australia, despite being in England. Can you imagine just looking at your PayPal, and you're like $5,000 in the hole because you said some mean things about PayPal online, and then on top of that, your Uber ride that was 15 minutes was also $39,000.
Yeah, could you imagine like you get charged 35,000? It's like, how much misinformation did I say? Oh no.
Oh, so basically the app thought he went from England to Australia.
Yeah.
So it's just a bug in yeah, that's
But
weird.
that's like I mean, from my perspective, I feel like this is like the number one bug I would want to address first.
Yeah.
Because like if you connect to like a VPN, for example, it probably thinks that you're all the way over there. So he might have like connected to a VPN halfway through.
True.
But
But it uses GPS. And also, it's not it's the driver's GPS too, because the driver's driving.
Yeah,
you.
that's true.
So even if you use a VPN, like it doesn't. If you pick the pickup location and then the driver drops you off, it knows the distance. That's a weird bug, but anyway.
Weird.
Yeah, and number 3 on the Snips, Tinder partnered with Ballot Ready on an in-app election center, where users can get
that was not an accident.
can register to vote and get polling and election info.
election info.
Yeah. So, what do you think about like dating apps? What would be their motivation they just want to get people out to the polls one way or another?
I mean, I think voting is
find a poll.
It's just everyone wants to get more people to participate.
Yeah.
In the elections, and
it's just what's it called? Yeah, it's like a marketing technique. Like we're talking about it now, so everyone wants to talk about.
Can you picture a girl on Tinder being like, fishing pole, fishing pole, fishing pole, ooh, voting pole? And it's just like, kind of like a theme going on.
Also, or guy stripping pole. I think it would be funny if you could see how they vote it.
Yeah,
so
we see like
if are they Democrat or Republican or whatever.
5'4", non-smoking, voted Democrat. Just on the Tinder profile.
5'4", but a Democrat.
Red flag. Oh, all right. Well,
number 4, we got YouTube is rolling out account handles. Why at this stage in the game? Lewis might have a better idea than anyone. Why would this be something important for them to roll out?
I actually have no idea.
I set you up way too high there. I'm sorry.
I'm just looking at the bottom of this article, which is funny how almost all these articles that we've gone is from The Verge. Like
yeah,
The Verge,
it's a handy site. Yeah,
they really fucking fund our whole entire thing here.
Yeah,
don't say that out loud, dude.
The addition of handles bring YouTube further in the line with TikTok, just as the company doubles down on its investment in short. So I think it's finding like a way to just be like TikTok.
Has this been No, I was just gonna say, has it been a problem before? Do you think for you, Lewis, like getting people to find you on YouTube without a handle? Like, is that gonna help at all, or what's the?
Not really, because I mean,
they type in coding with Lewis and they find the issue is that somebody can create a YouTube account as a commenter and also put coding with Lewis as their name or Lewis Menelaws as their name. Yeah. So like the handle adds like a level of.
But that's what the check mark is for, though.
But not everyone has the check mark.
How do they get this far in the game without having handles is kind of what I was wondering too.
I think also with the shorts and their whole social play, like the thing is YouTube is really becoming social media, right?
Yeah.
Like with the comment section, now you can post stories, you can post timeline posts, and people can comment on it. Before it was like a web based video hosting platform. So I think what they're realizing is that it's because it's more of a social media handle or a social media platform, they need to have the handle. And also, when you're like, follow me on blank, blank, blank at handle, it's weird to then be like, or youtube.com/domain name. So they had to get away from that. I think it's the right move. TikTok obviously has it too.
Because like when you download it, like for example, when we download TikToks all the time, like because if I want to send it to the group chat, I have to download it so I can show it without you guys having to go to the app. It always has like the watermark of my name of the creator's name, so that you can just search up like their handle. So kind of like what you're saying.
It's our social identities, right?
Yeah.
Twitter, Instagram, all of us these days, it's not our names, it's not our link, it's our handle. So YouTube just needs to get on that wave. And I think it was the right choice.
Do you think there's going to be a lot of handle snatching before people get on there?
Yeah, probably.
I don't know. I think YouTube, it has such a big creator economy. I think they're going to actually roll them out to their creators. Like basically if your domain is like, for example, ours is /fastforwardpod. I think that's our default handle. And then Because
Yeah, it did say on the article that like it does reserve what you have already. But part of me wonders if there's people who haven't like transitioned over, and maybe they'll get it snatched before.
Yeah, because after a certain amount of subscribers, YouTube lets you create your own domain.
Yeah.
So the people that haven't secured domains, they would be the ones that could get snatched up.
True. Next on the list, Tim's in the Metaverse. It's kind of funny because every brand is just saying that they're in the Metaverse just to say it, and all they do is create something in Roblox, and then they're like, "Oh, we're here."
Create something in Roblox.
Everybody's like, "I'm here, right?" So that's like, and it's like the safe way of everyone to like make headlines that they're in the Metaverse now.
There's just something so funny about like seeing a screenshot of Roblox, and like them like, and like again, you know, being in the Metaverse, and then just a snapshot of Roblox. It's hilarious.
It is.
Like, how can I take that seriously?
Well, here's the thing. You know, you're in the marketing room, and then they say, "Guys, we need to do some kind of Metaverse play." And then they get quotes from actual developers that could do a Metaverse application, and they go,
I'd rather hire kids.
Oh, fuck. What is Tommy from Tennessee saying? He's 13, right? 13? Can we Skype him in? Hi, everybody. I'm really excited to show you guys my Metaverse plan for the Tim Hortons brand. I've built a Metaverse world, and all I would like is that you pay me what I'm worth. I would like $400.
You probably pay. They're probably like, "We love your stuff, Timmy. We're gonna a free $50 gift card for you and your family to go to your local Tim Hortons." And he's like, "Yes, take first brand deal."
He's at school bragging like. And meanwhile, Tim Hortons literally like, they're, you know, the media clicks made more than $50 on the story.
Oh.
So
this plays into their recent run club as well in Canada. So this is a Canadian thing. That's why we're excited about it, kind of, even though we don't seem too excited. You always say you're going for a Tim's run. I don't know what you say in America. We're going for a Dunkin'.
A dunk?
A dunk.
We're going for
a funky dunk. We're going for a chunky dunk.
They might just call it a coffee run.
Yeah, so we could say it's a Tim's run. They have Runs Club apparel, which a couple guys in the office here bought, and then the game on Roblox is you running through donuts, avoiding Timbits, which are donut holes, and all those good things. So it kind of plays into their theme going on right now, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, you know what? The game actually looks kind of cool. Honestly, it looks like they put a lot of work into it. So we were joking around, obviously, about a kid building this whole thing out, but
yeah, it's not like
kids are good at Roblox.
It's not like the founder of IMDb built this. Like someone actually took the time to.
I have more respect for the 14-year-old Roblox developer.
All right, it's meme time, guys.
Meanie.
All right, this relates to Meta Connect. It was a tweet that said Meta introduces a new version of Mark Zuckerberg who is a lot more expressive, capable of nonverbal cues like raising an eyebrow and squinting.
Poor Zuck. Yeah, that's funny. You know, it's funny that he's so fixated on like making the metaverse have a feeling of presence and a feeling like you're right there with them, like human connection. Because like in real life, he doesn't have those things.
No.
So he's like trying to build a metaverse where like he's expressive and, you know, people believe he's a human, right? Because right now I don't know if they should run the same survey. Do you believe in the vision of metaverse? 58% say yes. Do you believe Mark Zuckerberg is a human-born being? It's like 42%.
Bro, that's like a 98% yes, right? Or no, like he's not a human being whatsoever.
That's funny. Good meme storm.
Great meme storm.
We definitely, here's the thing, side note, is that I thought we didn't have the snips because it wasn't in my thing. So I was like pacing to be at an hour. But now we're at like an hour and 25 minutes.
Just like the good old days.
Just like the
we used to go like 145 though.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Our fans will be okay with this 120.
Yeah.
We had lots of cool things to say.
Yep.
Some funny memes.
Yep. Hope they enjoyed. And if you did, don't forget to give us a 5-star review wherever you listen to podcasts. And we're almost at 1,000 followers on TikTok, guys. Woo! We almost get a link in bio. Don't stop the clout. Don't fucking prevent our success.
Yeah.
We need a link in bio so there can be more listeners like you that are coming from TikTok.
We literally have no call to action right now. Not even one.
No, none. And we need some brand deals too. So
And it's your fault, okay? You watching right there, it's your fucking fault, okay? Get us some damn brand deals. Get us some damn call to actions.
and follow us on social media.
Yeah.
That's how you can help. And hopefully very soon, will be blue checked.
Blue checked. We're looking forward to it, guys.
Have a good one.